What's up, everybody? Shauna D Man here, and welcome back. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great weekend. We are back with a quick review of Scream 7, which dropped this Thursday, Friday, depending on when you went and watch it. And oh boy, I I don't know about this one. Chat, I don't know. I don't know about this one. This was I personally think this movie, this series, this franchise should have ended at Scream 6. It felt like the perfect opportunity to end it then. They didn't. Um Now obviously this movie had already had a bunch of controversy surrounding it. People wanted to protest it because you had well, because they let Melissa Barrera go. She was in Scream 6, or I'm sorry, Scream 5 and Scream 6. Um, they had let her go, whether because of the whole free Palestine, that kind of stuff, that whole rhetoric. She was basically let go based off of that, and then shortly after, Jenna Ortega left as well. It left the project as well. Now, obviously, at the time, Jenna Ortega was, you know, they I think the studio put it out as like Jenna Ortega had like a lot of stuff on her plate, a lot of projects and stuff like that. But in reality, everybody kind of saw through that and knew the only reason Jenna Ortega left was because Melissa Barrera was basically fired from coming back for Scream 7. I'm so curious on what this movie would have been if those two were in this movie. Like, what was the original plot for this movie for Scream 7? Because it I just I just don't know how to really feel about this movie. I really it like I I don't think it was. I'm pretty sure it was not good. The issue is you are 7 movies into this Scream franchise. Everything's kind of predictable for the most part. This one, the villains of this made no sense to me, but some of the same rhetoric. Oh, you got to shoot him in the head. The whole, you know, they brought back the other two. What were their names? They brought back Mason Gooding and where's she at? Mason Gooding and is it, is it Anna Camp? Maybe, I think that's her. But anyway, they brought the two siblings back that had been in the previous two. They basically work with Gail now and stuff like that. So to me, this movie just comes down to it was not a ghost from Sydney's past. It was just a crazy white woman. That's literally what this movie came down to, because the logic behind on why they're doing what they're doing, it just makes no sense. It's just like I the more I'm sitting here and thinking about it, the more I'm just kind of like, what was the plan here? Now, obviously, overall, um, we as the moviegoer, you assume, no, maybe not assume, you were basically told throughout the movie that Stu is back. Stu did like okay, which there have been a lot of theories about Stu surviving the incidents of Scream 1. That's been going on for a couple of years. I I would have rather they do that. I would have, because they use AI in this, and I'm just kind of like, eh. I see what they were trying to do, but I'm kind of like, I would have rather, if you were gonna do the whole AI thing, I would have rather Stu actually been there. Like I would rather Leonard come actually back as Stu and do his final confrontation against Sidney. I would have rather have that than the security ward guy or not, or like the security nurse at the mental hospital and the crazy wine mom from next door who killed her own son, by the way, because he reminded me too much of his dad. I'm like, what are we doing here? Um, the deaths were, I don't know. The deaths were they were, I mean, like, again, you're 7 movies in. Like, the deaths are what they are. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool when that must have been okay. What was his name? Hold on, let me find his name. I think it was maybe Lucas was his name. I'm sorry, Jasmine Brown. That was his sister, Mason Gooding and Jasmine Brown. They were the siblings. I think Lucas was his name, but the son of the wine mom, I think she killed her own son. No, no, it couldn't have been her. It couldn't have been her. It had to be the other dude. It had to be the other dude. Anyway, like they do some of the same old tropes of like, you can't really trust the boyfriend and that kind of stuff. Um, you would. It's just I Hey, another thing, I know I'm jumping all over the place. Another thing, you have Joel McHale in this movie. I thought I wasn't sure if that was him. You have freaking Jeff Winger in this movie, and okay. This was something that that didn't make sense to me. So he gets you think he dies at a certain part of the movie. Like he gets stabbed multiple times, but somehow he stays alive long enough with those multiple stab wounds to get you to the climax of the movie, and then he makes it out of it. So I was just kind of like, what? Um, what else was it? They really jumped into it too. Like the movie really just jumps into. It was like an hour and 14 minutes, not a very long movie, and they just go. I I feel like they probably could have added an additional. It wasn't a mixture. It was Oh, I'm sorry. It was an hour. It was almost 2 hours. There's no way. There's no way it was almost 2 hours. There's no way. I I refuse to believe it was almost 2 hours. I really do because it's just this movie. I don't know why they made it. I don't. I don't. Now you had a bunch of people who were like wanted to boycott the movie and everything because of the whole Melissa Barrera situation and all that stuff, which I don't think it did well opening box office numbers wise. Um, Let me see if I can find. Uh, mm, Give me 1 second. Boo, boo, boo. Let's see. Let me see what the opening box numbers are. So let's see. So so as of yesterday, well, I guess today's Sunday if you're watching this, but as of Friday, um, it grossed 28.8 million domestically, and then about almost 8 million from the Thursday previews. Really, that's setting a franchise record. That's interesting. Um, so the full opening, so the as I'll have to look at this later today, but the projection for this movie Thursday, Friday, or I guess mainly Friday, Saturday, Sunday is it's supposed to be like around 60 plus million domestically. Um, which it shatters what Scream 6? Yeah, Scream 6 numbers back in 2023. Uh, what was the budget? Let me see. Let's see. So if they get 60 million this opening, let's say they get 60 million this opening weekend. So the production budget was 45 million. So they're more than likely going to um because you had to like it was probably not cheap because I know Nev Campbell was definitely somebody who there was a whole money thing with her. So let's see. Factors like a year-long delay, script rewrites costing around 500,000, and high salary. Nev Campbell reportedly got $7 million, and then Courtney Cox at 2 million. Getting Courtney Cox at $2 million seems kind of cheap to me, especially since she has been a staple of this franchise, the same as Nev Campbell. That's actually quite insane. Um, but yeah, it's more than likely going to make its money back. It is. Like it's gonna be a profit for them. 45 million for the budget. Yeah, they'll definitely make their money back. So I guess that should be it. Like, but still, this movie should not have even gotten a seventh entry. It should have ended at six. Um, I did like at the end when during the whole climax of it all. So we do learn it was all AI. Like Stu was not real; he was AI. But they did bring back let me find them. They probably shouldn't have done this, but they did. But they brought Dewey back through AI, and then they also brought back let me see if I can find her. Um, the mom and the son from I believe Scream 2. They were they were in this. I think I'm pretty sure it's Scream 2. They were in this movie as well, but it was just like a little cameo kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, I just why did you just kill them? Like, how did they have the code to the? See, now I'm like the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm just kind of like, why did they do this? Because there's a moment which you kind of saw coming where Isabel May. Why have I seen her before? What has she been in? Isabel May. I've seen her in stuff. Oh, that's right. She was in 1880. Wow, I did not recognize her for some reason. She was in 1883. Oh, she was also in Masters of the Air? I didn't know that. Um, What else was she in? Those are the only projects that I've noticed her in. She was in Young Sheldon. I don't. She was also in 1923. I haven't watched that, but I knew she looked familiar, but I just couldn't remember where I have seen her from. But needless to say, so there's a moment where Tatum, that's the name of Isabel May's character, is hiding in the coffee shop that her mom works at. Now, obviously, the Ghostface doesn't know where she is, and you could see it coming. Like you knew it was coming. But like as Ghostface starts to turn and walk away, her phone rings because Sidney's trying to call her. Um, he hears it, and then he just walks away. But there's a code to get into the coffee shop. The Ghostface used the code to get into the coffee shop. How did they know what the code was? Like it's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's like it's just like this isn't like a straightforward review. This is just me giving my thoughts about the movie, and I'm just kind of like the more I think about it, like I mentioned, the more I'm just kind of like, why did we do this? I'm so curious to know what the original plot for this movie was. I really want to know now because, like, to be quite honest, even if they make their money back, I would still consider this a failure of a movie. This was not really good. This was not really a good movie, and I enjoy the Scream franchise. I do. It is one of my favorites. I've pretty much grown up with the Scream franchise, but this was just not that great compared to the other ones. This also felt like Halloween. And what I mean by that, the Halloween that came out in 20, let me see. Let me see. The one that came out in 2018. The one that brought back Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. This felt somewhat similar because think about it in this sense. You have a killer in both movies come back to try to kill that specific person. Michael Myers is trying to kill Laurie. Ghostface is trying to kill Sidney Prescott. Both have a daughter. Both know of pretty much what their history was with Ghostface slash Michael Myers. It felt somewhat the same. And I was just kind of like, oh, I noticed that because the moment I think I noticed it when towards the like when Isabel May was in the coffee shop and like Sydney's trying to talk her through using the gun and everything, and I don't like, and she's like, oh, I can't do it and everything like that, and it clicked in my head. I was like, is this Halloween? That's what it felt like. It really did. It's crazy, but yeah, yeah. So Scream 7 probably did not need it. Very disappointed that it was made, honestly, but we'll see how it does with the box office numbers. But yeah, I don't know. I just was not that impressed with it. But that is relatively it, guys. Just wanted to do a quick little review. If you're new to the channel, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button, comment below. Tell me what you guys thought. I want to hear you guys' thoughts about the movie. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good one.